Running a small business isn't easy, and after the past year, you may feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Don't worry, help is on its way at the Small Business Expo. Our live in-person events are back, and we are giving small businesses a place to turn for education, advice, and inspiration. Safely network with other small business owners, learn from key industry leaders, and find products and services that can help grow your business. Join the small business movement at thesmallbusinessexpo.com.
I made a business out of my passion. I mean, who doesn't love obsessing over network security?
All our techs are pros. They know exactly which parking lots have the strongest signal.
I just don't have the bandwidth for more business. Seriously, I don't have the bandwidth.
Glitchy video calls with regional offices? Yeah, that's my thing.
With AT&T Business, you do the things you love. Our people and network will help do the things you don't. Let's take care of business. AT&T.
Welcome to Small Business University Online, powered by Small Business Expo, America's biggest business trade show and conference. We want to extend a very special thank you to AT&T Business for supporting small business and being our presenting sponsor. Please be sure to check out our complete webinar schedule and all on-demand recordings from previous webinars on smallbusinessuniversity.online. All of our webinars are free and full of incredible information to help you grow your business. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available within 24 hours on smallbusinessuniversity.online. At this time, we are turning the public chat feature off for the presentation. We will reopen the public chat window closer to the end so that you can post your questions for our presenter to answer during the open Q&A portion. And now, I'm very excited to introduce today's webinar. Please take it away.
Hi, my name is 𝐇𝐈𝐆𝐇𝐋𝐈𝐆𝐇𝐋𝐈𝐆𝐇𝐋 I'm president of the U.S.-China Chamber of Commerce. First, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Small Business Expo for giving us the opportunity to work with thousands of small businesses. We are proud to be a partner. I would also like to thank Stephen and Lynn for their support. They are excellent people to work with, very, very good. They know the business, and very important that they are excellent in customer service. So on behalf of the U.S.-China Chamber of Commerce and myself, I would like to show our deep appreciation. And let me spend a moment to tell you who I am and what I do. My background is in investment banking. I work with a larger business owners in helping them to raise capital to run their business, to do a merger and acquisition, and for financing include IPO, public offering, and private placement and venture capital. I also run the U.S.-China Chamber of Commerce, which was founded by the late Prescott Bush of the Bush family. Their goal is to help small business to stay competitive in this global business. So today I'm going to share with you a few observations about how small business can benefit from trade and how do they do the financing. The topic is trade and finance for small business made easy. The reality is it is not easy, but we are here to help you to make it easier for you to do trade, to maximize the money and also the time that you put into your business and stay competitive around the world. So I have 46 slides, so I'm going through them very quickly and we focus on a few things. What I would focus is on trade, particularly how small business can find products overseas and even in the United States. And then how you do the financing. When I got into the investment banking back in the late 80s, the internet was not popular. It was just the beginning of computer, and the option of finding money to run your business was very much limited. But with the internet, the opportunity have become many more. So the first thing is why business engage in trade. Well, the number one reason is to make money. If you look around the world, at one point of time, the most powerful company in the world was East India Trading Company. They actually own India. You know how big India is. And almost a lot of business, and sadly, wars, people were fighting each other, all because of trade. Even United States become independent, partially because of trade. So, and trade can really help a lot of people to improve their quality of life and also build power. And acquiring resources and supply because, for example, a country like Singapore, they have very limited resources. And then they need to do trade so that and they can build their country. And also reducing costs and expanding in other markets. And when you have excess goods that are not selling, you want to trade with other people to get rid of your inventory. You also want to diversify the risk, have other business activity, and also better allocating your resources. So in Economic 101, we call the competitive advantage. You focus on what you do the best. For example, a surgeon may be one of the best typists in the world, but he or she would not do typing. They would focus on doing medical services because that's what their value come the most. And also, and you want to attract capital. There are 29 million small businesses in America. And small businesses are the engine of the growth and create 2 out of 3 jobs. However, a very small percentage are engaged in international trade, and only 1% are selling overseas. Why? We are coming to talk about that later. But we all know that the consumer market overseas tend to grow faster than the USA. That happened in particular in Southeast Asia. Vietnam is now one of the fastest growing markets in Philippines. And there are many, many guidebooks about telling you how to sell overseas. You go to internet, if you do a search, you are going to find tens of millions of websites. But yet, many small businesses have difficulty in accessing overseas market. A couple of rules of thumb. If you are not competitive in the USA, your chance of successfully marketing your product overseas is not particularly high. If your product do not have a proprietary features, or the feature cannot be protected, and your competitor overseas will move in a hurry. If your product do not have the name recognition, it will be very, very difficult to create a critical mass to generate reasonable profit. For small business, the challenges to be very significant. You need to have a lot of money to do the marketing. So for small business, selling overseas to be very challenging. You need a lot of money, you need local people, or you send your people on the ground. You need to spend time in understanding the local custom, social, legal, environmental constraint, and you need to figure out how you handle the logistic. In COVID-19, logistics have become a nightmare. And then you have to handle the production, marketing, advertising. So there are very limited options for small business. And yet, you always see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can partner with local company or professional, and now one thing is opening up is e-commerce. So why we try to sell overseas, side product overseas, to expand the product line, to manage costs, and I'm sorry, why are we encourage small business try to find product and source product overseas? We are saying that not because to ship the job overseas. On the contrary, his small business know how to execute. They can actually create job here because you are shipping those jobs overseas that are not wanted in America, or they are not competitive in America. So by focusing on what you do the best, you make more money, improve the profitability of your company, and at the same time, give you the opportunity to hire and train higher skilled people. One of the reasons is you expand your product lines. You manage the production costs. You minimize the use of capital. If you're manufacturing here for low value added goods, you are basically not allocating the capital intelligently. So, and you are manufacturing something that would not generate the best return. And you don't even need to hire people and train them because the skill level will not be the same. So you also reduce the inventory, you streamline the management, and if you are able to ship some of the low value added production overseas, and you don't need to hire a whole bunch of workers or management, and you can allocate them to do better jobs. That's why you have a better use of the human resources. You give you a competitive edge over your competitors. You allocate your resources more efficiently. You actually will create jobs. We have a member who came to us in year 2000. They were doing about 7 million. They do the tool and die. And in 2020, they were doing 120 millions. They created 150 jobs. And because they ship the tool making overseas, and they hire engineer, do the design, who make much more money than the worker in the factory. And then they create a very good strong strategy. Not only they make the tool and die for themselves, they make the tool and die for their competitor because they have a good strategy. So there are some benefits of you to look for the sourcing product overseas. So how are you going to do that? You can set up your manufacturing facility. You are basically have a couple of manager but hired worker that may not be needed here. So, and you have a wholly owned subsidiary, or you do a joint venture. Or you actually also to a third party, have a third party to do the manufacturing for you. You set up a local sourcing team, and you set up trading posts, or you manage directly from your head office. So, and you contract directly from the factory, and you purchase from the distributor, or you go for an agent. So, now a few things that we have to bear in mind. Almost all products nowadays have become commodity. They have very little differentiation. Okay, but the suppliers, quality, and the timing are dramatically different. There's an enormous, large number of suppliers with very little human interface. All suppliers appear to be legitimate, and you see a lot of scams. So those, and those are the challenges facing small business. Not only that, small businesses are competing with large big box retailers and also the digital giants like the Amazon. And they have the quantity buying, have financial capability, and also logistic and technology. In-person quality control for small business is become very expensive because you have to send people over there. And in the COVID-19, it become almost impossible. Everybody talk about innovation, but innovation is a buzzword. Easy to say, but it's not easy to get accomplished. Whatever you innovate, very soon, people are going to copy and infringe your patent. Inventory risk is becoming a big concern. You look at the face mask, it's a typical example. 18 months ago, the fee ply are selling for 35 cents, 50 cents, now dropped to 3 or 4 cents. Regulation and import duty, they keep changing regularly. And you look at the CDC, FDA, they keep on flip-flopping on their policy. The financial health of the customer become very unstable. So, and if you are ship it to your customer, they may file bankruptcy. And not even that, even the shipping company a few years ago, a Korean shipping giant, filed bankruptcy. And the market is filled with information and disinformation, and it's very expensive and time-consuming to find out the accuracy. So, what are the common mistakes made by small business? They rely too much on the internet. They think everything you can do it with the internet. They got into scam. They got into dishonest supplier. Sometimes the supplier are honest, but they don't have the capability. They always go for the best pricing, the lowest price, and cut out the middleman. They don't realize that a lot of people say that they are manufacturers, in fact, they are middlemen. And then the best pricing is not the lowest one. You have to take a lot of things into consideration. They are easily sold by experts who claim to be expert, and their opinion change based on the last person they talk to. So, what are the decisions you need to make in order to do a good sourcing strategy? You need to find out what product really fit into your profile. Some products should be bought in American, some products should not and should be bought overseas. Where are you going to procure your product? Distributor, for middleman, factory? Are you willing to take inventory or drop ship? How are you going to ship them? You are going to do your own design, custom make, and you buy off the shelf. So, what are the solutions? And you may want to work with an intermediary because they deal with a lot of people, and then they have the experience, they have the infrastructure, and they know where to find the factory, they know the shipping, they have a team, do the problem solving, become very specialized. Okay, they can even do private labeling for you, which minimal additional cost if you find the off-the-shelf product for e-commerce, and they can ship directly to your customer. That will help to handle the import duty. However, finding the intermediary is not. So, what are the solutions? And you may want to work with some trade group or nonprofit organizations like us, your China Chamber of Commerce. Those people need to have some knowledge. You cannot just find anybody will tell you that they do. You need to make a commitment. Commitment need to be from the top. You don't hire an intern, someone intern pay them about minimum wage and expect them to do a good job for you. And you need to have a team. And you need to identify a product that whether they should be on the shelf or they will be available. Sometimes you partner with the distributor. So human interface is a must. Don't rely all on the internet. Sometimes going through the internet can be a winner, but it's a draw of luck. Reliable information is critical, and you need to spend time in understanding them. Sometimes it's expensive. You need to find a good partner, honest. If they are not honest, it does not matter what you do, you are going to have a headache. And you may team up with some other people. They are not your competitor. They can be your partners. So when you do the group buying, remember speed and precision are the key in execution. So how can you find out the information? Through the internet. And you can have a larger portal, marketplace, find the social media, discussion group. Remember, there are a lot of disinformation, so you need to spend time. Go to trade show or go into the U.S. custom record to see where people buy the product from. You may go to the wholesale market, go to trade organization, referral, talk to people, and then have a network, join the network like our organization. People do a lot of referral or find the sourcing agents. I want to highlight a show called the Canton Fair. They call the China Import and Export Fair. They established in 1957. It's by the Ministry of Commerce, and the Guangdong is the biggest in the world. Now they are doing their 130 sessions. Okay. Now, why we mention that? Because they are the biggest. They have 1.19 million square meters, which are 10 million square feet, and they have about 26,000 exhibitors. and about 200,000 buyers. And Canton Fair is different. It's basically the exhibitor all Chinese. And the people who are allowed to get into the show are basically foreigners. They don't allow Chinese to go in except they are related to the exhibitor. Now, and because of COVID, they allow Asians. So, and the difference is all the exhibitors have to be approved. If not, they cannot sell, and they have a better quality. And also, they have a department to handle the dispute in the infringement. So the reason I mentioned is because I mentioned that human interface is really important. We hosted some event, like Stephen saying that the light show is really exciting. We went to the Small Business Expo light show in Chicago. It is awesome and it's great. So if you have the chance, go on light show, but because of COVID, they are virtual, and still, and you want to go to a virtual event or a live event that is established by good organizers. So those things about sourcing. But in order for you to source, you need money to run the business. So very logical for small business early stage. A lot of the seed money are from the owner and friends and family. That's different from other financing. Because the owner, friends, and family, they know you. But when you look for financing outside this group, which unless you're from a very rich family, or you have a lot of siblings or friends and family, and you probably need to go outside to get money, excuse me, from people that you may not know. So they deal with you not because of you, but mainly because what they believe in you, in what is said. When I was an investment banker, the internet was not there. Later on, it became internet, and the option of financing tend to be less. But because of the internet, you have the crowdfunding. One of my friends called Circle Internet in year 2000. They raised $10 million just on the internet. Crowdfunding have a lot of advantage, but when you think about it, when you do the crowdfunding, the amounts that you are going to raise per investor is relatively small. So, and it takes a long time, and you have to deal with a lot of people. So, but to some extent, it gives you an option because a lot of small business may not be qualified for some other financing. And the other thing is find the angel investor. The angel investor, they typically is, now they have the angel group, they have the angel network, they have the angel fund, which I'm in the process of forming an angel network. So shall be happy to talk to all of you about my experience in the angel investing, both from the sell side and the buy side. So the advantage is in the providing an opportunity for startup, they may not be qualified for some other forms of financing. Opportunity to quickly grow the business until you get to the next round. And the angel investor can help you, to mentor you, and give you some advice. Now, we all know that con is when you sell some of your company, you lose some equity, and you also, and people give you the money. They are not going to let you play around with the money. They are going to have some control. Then venture capital is probably the next round, and then look for bigger size. For angel investing, typically the size can be 100,000 in total to 250,000 or up to $1 million. Each angel investor can put in $5,000 or 10 or 25,000, but the amount is not much. But when you get to the venture capital, excuse me, venture capital and the amount tend to be bigger. And then in the old angel investing in venture capital, they always look for the high potential for growth. So, and you look at them a lot for the technology or novelty ideas. So, because a lot of business they invest would fail. So, and they look for a high return. The same thing, you are going to lose the equity and autonomous, but the venture capital tend to be a bigger size. $500,000, $1 million, maybe even 10, 15. Some people using the business credit card. Yes, that is possible, but for a lot of small business early stage, the credit card allowance and limit would not be very big. And you always, and can be expensive. I think is the late fee and the interest rate can be expensive. The business line of credit, and sometimes small business or bank would give you a line of credit. A lot of them are secured by your inventory or receivable or real estate. So there is possibility. Again, it depends on your credit. A lot of them also require collateral. Also, you have a micro loan, which by the Community Development Fund (SBA), very very similar. Okay, but again, those tend to be small amounts. The SBA loan, one of people always saying that bank does not loan money to people who need money. They loan money to people who don't. To some extent, that's true because they look at your credit. SBA loan, one of the disadvantage is have to be personal guarantee most of the time, or collateralized by real estate which owner operator. Bank loan is very similar to line of credit. Okay. Now they have the online loan. They are very similar, but quick turnaround. The amount can be a little bit smaller. They very little interaction, personal interaction. There are some, but not a whole lot. Okay. The grant, and you can get the grant from the government or from some charitable organization or foundation. Typically, and you don't have to pay for them, but it is very, very competitive. Anything free is competitive, and you have a good reason. And then in the processing, application process can be lengthy, and they have strict requirements. Term loan is very similar to the bank loan. Okay. Vendor credit, and sometimes when you source product or buy product from your supplier, your vendor may give you the credit. Most of the time, if you do not have a good credit rating or you have no history with the vendor, they are not going to give you the credit. Normally, you have to establish some relationship. And also the payback time is relatively short. But having said that, they are not that expensive. But sometimes, if you don't pay in time, then they charge you a fee. Equipment financing, when you buy some equipment, and sometimes they arrange the financing. A lot of them are based on your capital equipment, machine tools, so forth and so on. Oftentimes, they finance the profit and require a down payment. Okay, they finance the profit from the equipment. So, and a lot of times you have to pay a down payment which covers parts of the cost of the equipment. Commercial real estate loan, again, you need a real estate in order to qualify for that loan, and sometimes it's not easy, particularly for owner-operator. Merchant cash event, sometimes that happen. It's not easy. Sometimes they give you some money in advance so that and to secure you as a good suppliers. Cash flow loan, and rather than based on your collateral, and then they would loan you the money based on your cash flow. At the end of the day, most of the loan need to be repaid. The way to repay them is cash flow, which generate from profit. Okay? So those are the opportunities, but let's look at the general consideration that apply. The internet and social media have opened up a lot of doors for different kinds of financing. And yet, some principles remain the same. The business needs to be viable. If they are not viable, you cannot pay them back. And then all the investment will go down just like they are giving you a gift. You need to have a growth potential, particularly for early stage financing, because of the risk. They invest or they loan you money because of what you present to them. So you need to have a solid business plan. But in my opinion, the businessman is not just for getting the money, financing, but also for you to know how to run your business. You need a realistic financial projection and assumption. The valuation of your business, particularly for venture capital and angel investing, friends and family, need to be reasonable. If the valuation is out of control, they are not going to talk to you because they cannot make money. Management need to be good, need to be honest, experienced. A lot of business fail because the business school do not teach people, in my opinion, very few. 80% of the business school teach you how to run an existing business, not a new business. And a lot of people, young, they think they know everything in the reference group, social media, and they think and they make mistake and they do not understand. The terms of your deal need to be reasonable. In this give and take in negotiation, you cannot be arrogant. Okay? Even though you have a very, very good business model, you still need people to help you. You need to understand returns are affiliated with risk. The higher risk they are, the more return they look. You also need to know the growth, the stage of your company. Different stage, they have different financing instrument. So in summary, trade is the heart of business. With internet, mobile device, and advanced logistic technology, global and cross-border e-commerce are the trend. Small business need to be prepared to get involved in global trade readily. If you are not, you are going to lag behind. And you look at a lot of small business fail, particularly in the Midwest, in the early 2000s. Because before that, in Chicago, you had the largest restaurant in the world, McDonald's, the largest waste management company in the world, Waste Management, the largest company in the world, Sears. And a lot of supply, they don't need to worry. The only thing they need to do is to take them to Alaska, fishing, hunting, golfing. But when global trade opened up, a lot of them fail because they never invest the money in building the business in the long term. So you need to be prepared. Well, there are opportunities. Global trade is not easy and pose risk. You need good planning, due diligence, commitment. Good judgment, commitment is the key to succeed. Among all the obstacles to succeed, financing is one of the most critical elements. Everything needs money. You need money to organize your company. You need money to pay people. And you need money to do trade. So with the modern technology and social media, you have many more options. However, you always need a good executable business plan and excellent management. They are critical for you to do trade and for you to raise capital. How can we help you? We can do a lot of things because our background investment banking, we have an extensive network with suppliers and customers and service provider. We have lawyers and consultant can help you to protect your patent. For small business, it's very critical. You need to find way to get your product in good price, okay? And you also need to be able to protect your invention. We can help you with the sourcing in e-commerce. Logistics in e-commerce is critical. You need one of the lowest shipping costs because they all add up. You need to do the market analysis. Selling overseas is not easy. So, and you need to find a good partners. If you don't spend time, don't have people help you, you are just draw or luck. You don't want to try your luck every day. Okay? And sometimes you need to travel and you need low cost and fast service for your travel requirement. We also do all the things. So we focus on Asia, China, Southeast Asia. We also have people in America. We took the largest Mexican food company to Asia, and now they are doing very well. Okay. So, and those are what I have, and I thank you so much for your patience, and thank you very much, Stephen, for moderating this event. You have been a good friend and excellent, and it is an honor and pleasure to work with the Small Business Expo, particularly Stephen and Lynn. Thank you very much. I want to just tell you that we believe that the growth of e-commerce will continue, particularly for Southeast Asia, and they create a large opportunity for small business in the U.S., and I encourage U.S. company, particularly small business, and need to prepare for the global trade. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that informative presentation. We really enjoyed it. As a reminder, this webinar was recorded and will be available on demand within 24 hours on smallbusinessuniversity.online. Again, I want to extend a very special thank you to our sponsor, AT&T Business. Please remember to frequently check out our webinar schedule on smallbusinessuniversity.online for other great weekly business building webinars. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.